I don't know about any of you, but I have been practicing what Reverend Sherry James talked to us about last week, that gratitude is God's language. Remember that? And I couldn't agree more. Wasn't that powerful? It was really powerful. So today we're going to pick up where Reverend Sherry left off in her talk about leading with gratitude, and we're going to hear how some of our leaders use gratitude as a practice throughout the seasons of life. So we're going to take it into everything that we do. And that brings something to mind for me in one of my favorite Myrtle Fillmore books, How to Let God Help You. Myrtle said something that I have just been listening to and thinking about for weeks now. Praise is gratitude in action. Just think about that for a minute. She called gratitude and thanksgiving qualities of the soul. And she said that heaven and earth listen and respond to the soul that is quickened into praise and thanksgiving. Isn't that amazing? So that goes along with what Reverend Sherry said. It's a power, and it's an absolute truth. I was especially drawn to this book of Myrtle's because there's an entire chapter in it about Thanksgiving. And I don't know how many of you know this, but I was born on Thanksgiving Day. It falls on my birthday once every 7 years. Not this year. This year it's the day before, just letting you know. It's the day before. And I know Nicole's is the day after. Okay, so I have, aside from thinking I was a turkey and related to the turkey family, because my mom would say, here's my little turkey, I've always felt this responsibility in my life to be grateful for everything. It was like, even as a child, I remember thinking I was born on this day for a reason, so I have to live in gratitude. It's my job. It's what God gave me to do, right? Well, that I didn't realize was such a gift for me, because that practice and learning to be disciplined in that practice as I grew up more and more, I'm still working on it, I realized what a gift I was being given. There is power and magic when we adopt that soul quality of living in gratitude. And it shifts every experience in our lives. I completely agree with Myrtle and Reverend Sherry that giving thanks is a state of gratitude that increases supply into superabundance. It's the same power that Jesus used and demonstrated over and over, and it's latent in each one of us. The practice of thanksgiving, according to Myrtle, should be observed in the home every day of the year, not just on a national holiday. Can we agree? And I love this idea of praise is gratitude in action. I love that because we don't really know what praise means anymore. So realizing that when we're praising something, we're actually being grateful for it in a very active way. Something to remember and think about. And we know from Charles Fillmore that we increase whatever we praise. That's a truth. The whole creation responds to praise and is glad. That's a basic unity principle. So let's hear from some of our leaders. Reverend Stacy gave us questions and asked them to answer or to speak whatever thoughts they have on gratitude. These are great questions for us to ask ourselves in this season of gratitude. What does gratitude mean to you? How have you developed a gratitude mindset? And what is your gratitude practice? Do you have a gratitude practice? How have you used gratitude during challenging times in your life? How has gratitude grown throughout the seasons of your life? And what are you grateful for both personally and to Unity of the Oaks? Well, I'm quickly going to answer the last one, and that is really hard to answer because I'm grateful for so much. I'm grateful that I found my spiritual home 10 years ago here with all of you. And I'm super grateful that I've been able to write music and express that part of my soul and be received so wonderfully. It's been such a gift. And I'm also grateful that this led me into ministry. And because of Unity of the Oaks, I'm now a Unity minister. Super grateful. So now we want to hear from Linz. You want to come share with us, Linz?
All right. Hello, everyone. Hi. I wrote notes on my phone. Hopefully I can read it while I'm up here. It was really nice to be asked to share some of my gratitude practice. I started developing my relationship with gratitude when I was a teenager in Unity up in the Bay Area. And it's been something that stayed with me the whole time ever since. So for me now, gratitude is about processing and receiving the gifts and challenges of my life. It's recognizing the things that are going well, giving some attention to the things that are challenging me and hoping I can find a way to grow from them. And in terms of a gratitude practice, I read a book once called Meet Your Inside Team, and it walked you through an exercise of understanding the voices inside of you. We've all developed different voices to help support us through times in our lives. And what I've realized is that one of my inside team is just the grateful one. And no matter what's popping up, if I sort of check in with the forces and the voices inside of me, there's always one that is trying to find the best in something, trying to find a reason to be grateful. And I'm grateful for that. That's pretty meta. The challenging times, when I was 16, my older brother passed away. And it was a really challenging time for me and my family. And I did not, I was in Unity at the time. It was really helpful to have that support. And what I came to, it didn't happen right away, but I learned to be grateful for the time that we'd had together and the ways that he's still in my life today. And now I wake up and my parents are both alive. They're healthy in their 70s. And even though I was lamenting for a long time that I grew up without a brother, now I grew up with healthy parents. And so I can show up with gratitude for that. And here at Unity of the Oaks, or in my life, generally, I'm grateful for anything that makes me grow. That's the way that I process the hard times in my life, as I just see them as opportunities to grow. And in Unity of the Oaks, I'm grateful for all of you, and two things in particular. One is the great music. It's so nice to be surrounded by great music every week. And then the hugs, being able to hug a bunch of people every Sunday really lifts my spirits. So with that, the next person to share their gratitude, and that's Lisa. Come on down.
Good morning. How are you this morning? I loved that meditation. It was like, if we're talking about gratitude, how many things did we hear in that message? The gratitude for the earth, the gratitude for the air, the breathe, the trees. It was just so meaningful for me. And I didn't get these questions before I came up here. I saw them now. So I kind of prepared in a different way, and I hope this is meaningful for you. One thing I'd like to say is I really, really have appreciated meeting you all and becoming part of this community. I've been here a short time, and I feel like I'm home. So I just really want to say thank you for that. I'm very grateful. So I'm going to read, because I tend to be a reader. I hope I don't bore you. So when I tune into life and feel alive and grounded in my body, this is what I feel. These are some of the things that I remember. Just imagine some of these scenes with me for a moment. Standing in nature, listening to a creek ripple over smooth river rocks, breathing in the fresh, clean air. Or walking with a young child, hand in hand, when suddenly she sees her shadow for the first time. She picks up her feet and puts them down again, laughing in glee as she realizes she and the shadow are one. Finding a sweet spot to curl up with a pet to read, warmed by a favorite blanket and a cup of soothing tea. Meeting a dear friend for lunch, sharing our innermost thoughts all the while, basking in the heartfelt love of the moment. These scenes that arise from my memory bring a sense of joy, a recognition of love, and a feeling of gratitude to my heart. I feel happy experiencing the seemingly small things that are found in everyday life. And I'm grateful that we have the power to make or break these moments. We can choose whether we want to look at the mud on the creek bed or revel in the sights and sounds of the mountain stream. There's another level of gratitude that I'd like to talk about this morning, and that is something more esoteric or metaphysical in its nature. Such experiences might be brought on by reading a beautiful poem, listening to a message at a spiritual service, experiencing a sublime moment in silent meditation, or with the room of yoga practitioners all breathing in unison. Something overcomes us as we experience the awe of being alive and knowing in our hearts we are truly loved. I experienced this deep connection many years ago, and I still do. So many moments of my life. But this particular moment, my soul was opened. So I want to share just briefly with you what that was about. It happened when I was about 30 years old, a mere few years ago, when I had a near-death experience, an NDE. Now, bear in mind that at that time there was very little published on the subject. I had never heard of an NDE and had no idea what to name what happened to me. To tell you in brief, I had an ectopic pregnancy, my fallopian tubes ruptured, and I was dying from internal hemorrhaging. Leaving the details out, which are eventful in themselves, I'll jump to the point. As I was on the operating table before being sedated to fix the problem, I suddenly felt a deep sense of peace envelop me, and an inner voice said, "This is what it's like to die. I am dying now." With that, I was instantly transported into the very heart and radiant light of love. There are no adjectives to sufficiently describe the ecstatic love and light that penetrated my soul. The light energy encompassed me, filling whoever me was, and I was in bliss, pure, radiant joy. There's more to the story, but I'll leave it for another time and end by saying that I am so grateful all day, every day, for life. Whether our awareness of a deep presence comes from an NDE or through meditation or through daily spiritual practice or through journaling our grateful thoughts or for giving micro acts of kindness to others or by any other means, it doesn't really matter, does it? We each experience an opening awareness to infinite possibilities through different ways, but we come with grateful hearts into the presence of love. Thank you. Betsy.
That's a very hard act to follow because I'm not prepared, and that's okay. Yeah, because I have gratitude. To me, gratitude is the warm feeling of a fuzzy blanket wrapped up on a cold night, maybe by a fireplace, or a cool breeze when you're taking a hike out in the wilderness or down along the beach, and you're so hot you can't stand it, but that breeze hits you and you can feel God. It's knowing peace of mind. Um, how? I started reading Daily Word. My mother-in-law gave it to me about 30 years before I came to Unity, which was 10 years ago. And it's so apropos in its insightful messages every day. It's like a personal message for me every day. So I read it every morning, and a few of the other spiritual messages that are in my life are books and sayings and things you find online that hit, and you take pictures of them, or I do. And then I take these pictures and I edit them, and I edit the Daily Word, and I send it on to about a dozen of my family and friends daily, because I want to share the insight and the love and the gratitude that the world gives to us. Without gratitude for Spirit's hand in smoothing the life's storms that are part of our lives, we break. So gratitude is strength. Personally, I've discovered that the more I'm grateful, the more I know peace. Yeah, because I lost my son a year ago. But gratitude got me through, and all of you guys, and love. So you take a deep breath every day and you say, I'm grateful for life. I came to Unity of the Oaks 10 years ago with Sherry. Sherry says, come on to my church, I'm going to sing. And I said, oh, because we had done shows together. And I said, oh, yeah, I'm going to come. So I came, and at that time, Reverend Molly was the reverend. And man, could Molly preach. Good golly, Miss Molly. So I met everybody afterwards. Every time before in my life when I went searching for my spiritual home, when someone would say to me, come on and help, we'll give you something to do, we'd love you to come back, I'd go, thanks, and I left. So this one, I came in and I started talking to people, and everyone was so warm and generous and giving and loving with their time and what they said, that it just roped me in, and I felt like I had stepped into my own home. So I stayed, and I kept coming back. And even though the people have come and gone, they're still connected. We're all connected as human beings, so that the love that we have in us that we share with others, and the gratitude that we have for life and for each other, we can share with a word, a smile, a handshake, a hug. We have God in us. And so those are the messages of strength that we have, and I am so grateful for all of you. Thank you. Oh, and next is my Lucy. You coming around that way or that? Okay, so I don't fall down.
Good morning. I wrote this yesterday. The only reason I'm saying that is because it was raining yesterday and cold. And that'll be explained as I read to you what I'm writing. My gratitude practice begins each morning when I am able to rise from my bed. Thank you, God, for a new day which was not promised. I get up, get dressed, feed my cat, watch my precious puppy rush to the front of the house and hop up on the couch and climb into his bed. Some mornings I take Mr. Paws immediately out for his morning walk. On these mornings, I am aware of the world awakening around me, and I am grateful for the fresh air, the early morning sounds of birds flying over my head, the beauty of the flowers blooming, and the wide variety of trees in our blessed mobile home park. I am always thankful that I can walk with my beloved little dog and greet friends and neighbors who are also out and about. I am so joyful to be alive. Thank you, God. Other mornings like today, when the weather is not so great, I let Mr. Paws sleep in his little bed on the couch and appreciate my warm, cozy home as I open all my shutters and watch the world awake. I read my morning meditations and sit in the quiet and look out on our beautiful world. I sip my hot, yummy tea and feel so blessed. There's so much to be thankful for. My warm, cozy home, my beautiful cat, and my precious puppy, a safe place to live. Abundance is all around me. Thank you, God. Next, I think of my family and how wonderful each person is. I am so blessed. I love each of them and feel such joy whenever I get to see them and hear from them. Family is a gift from God. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And my life is blessed with friends all around my community. Friends are the gift we are each given to love and to cherish. There is so much in this life to appreciate. The friends that bless our lives for a season or for a lifetime. And I end with the blessing of my church, my spiritual home. The classes, the friends, the daily word, the weekly lessons which enrich my life, the oh so special music. I am so grateful to be a part of Unity of the Oaks. I am grateful for my life and the multitude of blessings. And now it's Jules' turn.
Good morning. I had to write mine. Okay. Gratitude to me means an authentic, deep soul appreciation. Gratitude is learning to be thankful and the ability to find the blessing in even the worst circumstances. Realizing the challenges helped me to grow and make me who I am today. Philosopher Simone Weil said, "Love of God is pure when joy and suffering inspire an equal degree of gratitude." I had developed a gratitude mindset, especially the past few years, and particularly as they have been the most trying years in my life. My morning routine consists of my daily affirmations, with gratitude always being on top of that list. I would also write in a gratitude journal every morning until it just became a habit and mentally ingrained as part of my morning routine. Throughout the day, I'm constantly thanking Spirit, whether it's getting a front row parking spot, hitting all the green lights when I'm running late per usual, while I'm sipping on a frappuccino or a glass of wine, seeing dolphins at the beach, etc. At the end of every day, as I'm laying in bed, I replay my day in my head and think of all the beautiful blessings that I was grateful for that transpired throughout that day. I have used gratitude during many challenging times in my life. Ironically, it seems like the more suffering I endured and the more I lost, the more gratitude I was beginning to experience, and it became the foundation of survival for me. I would force myself to cling to all the things I was thankful for instead of being consumed by all the darkness around me. It was a practice I knew I had to perfect if I was going to mentally survive the challenges ahead. Gratitude has given me a sense of peace and lowered any anxiety or depression that I had been experiencing in the past tremendously. My gratitude has grown through the seasons of my life. Even writing this puts a smile on my face, and I'm internally grateful that I was given this opportunity. It has allowed me to reflect on my own spiritual growth and how far I have come. It has reminded me once again how beautiful the spiritual community is that surrounds me, and hopefully gives encouragement for others to live in the spirit of gratitude. I am grateful for the eyes to see, the ears to hear, the voice to speak, and the Christ consciousness that dwells within me. I am grateful to the universe for divinely guiding me to find unity of the Oaks during one of the most struggling times and when I desperately needed the support the most. I am grateful to have Unity as a safe place to connect and grow spiritually while surrounded by unconditional love, acceptance, and genuine kindness. That is one reason why I actually joined the Board of Trustees as a way to give thanks and be of service to a community I believe in and am truly grateful for. And I'm going to end with a quote that really touched me that I want to read. And it says, "Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow." Melanie Beatty. Nicole, last but not least.
Okay. Do I have the microphone in the right spot? First, I just really want to say thank you to everybody who just spoke before me, because I think we can all hear that gratitude and just life experiences and our stories are also unique and personal. So thank you. You are all inspiring to me. And I think it's beautiful, and I feel grateful to just be able to hold the space for all of that. So thank you. Okay, what does gratitude mean to me? I think simply put, it's being grateful for the little things in life just as much as it is the big things. For the ease as well as the dis-ease in moments, okay? Because it's often through those hard times, and I think you've heard this today, that really helps us to evolve. I know it's helped me to evolve and to grow. It's having those opportunities that are hard. It's about being thankful for people, for experiences, and for just the divine within. How have I developed a gratitude mindset, and what is my gratitude practice? Well, I have two humans in this space that can vouch for my gratitude practices. But I developed a gratitude practice really by just doing it. You know, it's like rip off the Band-Aid. It's not hard, and we can do it throughout seconds and minutes of every day. But I find pockets of time in my day to do that. And sometimes I just do it when I mentally need to shift into more positive thinking. Okay. Particularly when I can sense that lack mindset kind of creeping in, I pick those moments to combat that mindset with gratitude. I do it in my car. I do it on walks. And I do it with my girls. They do threes in the mornings on the way to school. Sorry, because I'm embarrassing you both right now. So now we just say, what are your threes? And they know that on the way to school, they're each going to share 3 things they're grateful for. And we talk a lot about spirituality here, but there's actually a scientific connection to gratitude. And they have researched parents who employ gratitude practices and find that their children, in turn, right, use gratitude practices more frequently. So those are the mirror neurons in our brain. That's what allows you, when you see a stranger on the street and they smile, to smile back at you. So how we model and what we do is so influential. How have I used gratitude during challenging times? Okay, so my challenging times are different than the challenging times you heard before, so I just want to recognize that these are different, and I heard everything everyone else said. I use daily, I began to really, well, no, I didn't begin. We'll get to seasons in a minute. But I used gratitude practices daily throughout my divorce because I really felt like my world had been shattered. And it seemed like the world around me and the people around me were still moving right along, and yet I was trying to get through something really tough. And to that point in my life, it had been the toughest thing I had ever been through. And I think those gratitude practices are what kept me positive, and they were resilient. And just the fact that I had these 2 beautiful souls to be grateful for on that journey with me. Thank you, Tanae and Mila. There's always seasons in life, and doing this activity caused me to look back to think about my seasons of gratitude. which actually began when I was a kid, because I actually think to my heart, because I was really perplexed as a little girl as to how this one organ kept all of my systems and all of me alive. So I guess as a little kid, I was thankful for my physical sense, my physical body. And then growing up and just evolving through more seasons, I noticed I was always the person to thank people, to thank others for who they are and the things that they do. Actually, when I gave birth, I was told I was the kindest pregnant woman because I think I thanked everybody under the sun the whole time. All right, and as an adult, I'm grateful for experiences because so much of the time it has brought me invaluable life lessons that have helped me to grow and evolve. And I want to share something I heard. I was lecturing in September, and a physical therapy colleague was doing a Qigong activity, kind of getting us all grounded. And I had been lecturing on stress and the impact of stress, and he brought up gratitude. And when we think of gratitude, I'd never thought of it this way. He said, gratitude plays hide and seek. Isn't that cool? Because, don't we all have moments where we don't feel as grateful? But could we appreciate that that's so cool? Because when we have the moments where we don't have it, that's how we appreciate it when we do. So gratitude plays hide and seek. All right. Can you tell I work with kids? It's all about hide and seek. All right. So what are you grateful for, both personally? Well, I'm just going to answer, why am I grateful for Unity of the Oaks? I'm immensely grateful for Unity of the Oaks, and thank you to Rhonda, who knew me well enough, who knew my soul, or knows my soul well enough to say, Nicole, I think you're really going to like this. I think you're really going to connect. She was really right. But I'm really grateful for Unity of the Oaks because of the people and the philosophy that makes it what it is. It's the first time in my entire life, and I'm kind of getting a little bit older the day after Thanksgiving, that I really actually have a spiritual connection to a spiritual home, which includes all of you. And I think that says it all. And I'm going to have to tag on what Lynn said, because of the great music, we cannot not be thankful for that. They've wrecked my kids forever. They're going to go somewhere someday in college and be like, Mom, there's just no music ministry like ours. So Tanae and Mila, I'm sorry, but I'm grateful for all of you. So thank you. And Reverend Sherry is going to be up next, who we're immensely grateful for. And you know you're not a turkey.
Wow. Can we just give a round of applause to everyone? Thank you, Linz, Lisa, Betsy, Lucy, Nicole. I was touched by everyone. That was just amazing. I mean, my heart is so open, and I just applaud that this is a space where we can all be so authentically ourselves and so vulnerable with one another. It's just incredible. And Lisa, you reminded me of a moment in my life that I just really need to be aware of. And it was during a very difficult time when I was going through chemotherapy. And I thought I was dying. It was that moment where it feels like all the life is sucked out of you. And I said to Rick, this is what it feels like to die. And it was after that I developed just such a passionate gratitude for this life every single day. So my practice is to wake up in the morning with my arms and go, "Good morning, God." That's what I do in the mirror. And then I say, thank you for this amazing life that I am living and the perfection made manifest in my body, mind, and soul. Thank you. How can it get any better than this? And that's a quote of Mark Stanton Welch. When he mentioned that, I've used it probably every single day of my life. How can it get any better than this? And then watch the universe show me. So that's what I'm going to end it with.